Happy Monday once again, everyone. I'm Kathleen, and we are here for our 11th week of balance class with the Main Strong Balance Center here on Facebook Live. And like I said, I'm Kathleen. I am coming to you from the Main Strong Balance Center remotely in my own home here today, doing our class virtually. And we are a physical therapy clinic, so we do all things related to physical therapy, but balance is our underlying focus, and we like to bring a little bit of what we do in the clinic out to the community with this class. So if you're here for your first time, welcome. We're going to get into all sorts of balance activities today, exercises that really can modify your balance and improve your balance. So if you are looking for that, you are in the right spot. We'll also go over a couple of the different systems in the human body that do contribute to successful balance. So we have a lot of working parts here that are all collaborating together to keep us balanced, and it's important to know what they are in order to help to improve them. All right, and our clinic, the reason why I am working remotely here in my little cubby, we're open. We were closed for a little while with the pandemic, only serving people who had acute episodes of pain or dizziness, anything like that. But now we're back open on a more routine basis, and we're taking everyone through the door with a lot of different policies and procedures in place to keep everyone safe as we possibly can. We've also got telehealth options. So telehealth is a really useful tool if you are needing some one-on-one physical therapy services, but not quite ready to get back out into the community yet, or if you are somewhere in the state of Maine that's not quite close to our Scarborough location, we can access you now over a span of distance in your own home. So the telehealth, it's a really good option for distancing, working in a virtual way, one-on-one with one of our physical therapists. Hi, Jessica. Good morning to you too. Welcome. All right, and so the telehealth can be a really good supplement to this class. If there's any really individualized questions you have along the way that you're noticing about yourself, it may be good to take note of those, and you could chat with them one-on-one with a therapist in that way. All right, so we've got comment section open. Please comment anything that you'd like to say, shout, ask. I'm here looking at it so I can see the comments pop up, and I'll do my best, whatever you've got on your mind today. I think we've got, when I'm recording, I can never see the time on here, so I'm going to grab my laptop and check the time. We usually start right around 9:30. I was a couple minutes early getting things up today. Yeah, so we're just 2 minutes past 9:30 today, and I think that we'll get on our warm-ups in our chair when everyone's logged on. Hi, Dell. Good morning. Great to see you too. I was wondering if you'd gone swimming. I was looking out at the water the other day and I was thinking of you. And good morning, Anna. Hi, I'm glad you've made it. It's nice to see everyone popping in here. It always is. So say hello whenever you'd like. I'm here to see it. Okay, so next step in getting our class going together for balance activities, we'll need to have a safe setup. And what that means is a chair is good to have around for the purpose that all of our warm-ups will be done in a seated position. So a chair, good thing to have for our warm-ups, and also for our strengthening part of class, we'll use the chair to come from a sitting position up into a standing position, similar to a squat type action, but that'll focus on our strengthening for our lower body, and having the chair at that point in time will be pretty critical. And then also just having a surface nearby that For the balance exercises, you can use to lean on in moments of stabilizing yourself. When you need to reset yourself, you can have that secure surface by. So what we do in the community class, we've got chairs set up and we use those for both the warm-ups and the balance exercises and everything. So I've got one of those chairs here and I'll be using it. I'll show you how, just in case you're wondering. All this talking won't help. You'll have to see it in action, right? So the chair, like I said, would be a really good thing to have for the class because we're going to use it for our warm-up exercises. We'll be sitting. We're going to use it for our strengthening exercises where we'll actually be coming from a sitting position up into a standing position. And we use it for our balance exercises where you want something secure nearby to have in times of need, but ideally we will want to be standing independently and just use it as a reset button if we need to. Okay? So things that could substitute for the chair in situations like that, you could use your kitchen countertop. You know, if you've got like a couch with kind of a hip height, the back to it, anything like that. It's tough when you're in your own home, you start to look at things like exercise equipment, like what am I going to use for this? So if you have questions, let me know. But the priority is that it's a safe, secure thing to use, something solid really, to place your hands on as needed. All right. So we'll start with our warm-up, and like I said, that one we will be doing from a seated position. So find your seat, and we'll go through a couple warm-up exercises together. Okay, so this is our seat. We're going to make sure that we're sitting in a way that is, you know, supportive of all of our muscles and joints. Finding our good posture position is always the first step in setting up for... I had a phone call coming in on my telephone. I'm glad that this kept rolling. I was thinking it was gonna blank out, but we got it. All right, so in your seat, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to posture points that support your body in a way that's healthy and, you know, keeping everything in line. So we're going to start by sliding forward on our seat a little bit here. So you want to be kind of away from the back of the chair, not reclined. Torso is upright. You're slid forward to the point where you're not too far forward, where you're teetering on the edge, but maybe just a little bit further up the seat than you normally might be. Your feet are flat on the floor, hip width apart from one another, and they're pressing down into the ground so that you can feel the waking up of the muscles in your legs. Okay, your pelvis is tilted forward a bit here. So I describe that as tucking your tailbone underneath of you. So from a standing position, sometimes if we have a posterior pelvic tilt, we're pointing outward. So your back is kind of arching here, a little bit more pressure on the low back than necessary. The tailbone tuck that we're looking for is just pulling that forward to the point where things are in line and your spine is supported, even in a seated position. So that goes for standing and seated. Find your pelvic tilt, relax your shoulders, give them some weight, let them fall down by your sides. And lastly, you're going to want to tuck your chin in just a little bit. So that chin tuck at the end really stretches out the muscles around the cervical spine and allows the crown of your head to hold a little bit higher. Okay, so a little chin tuck, and then we'll begin with some breathing. As we breathe, you will inhale and bring your hands up, clasping together in the middle, down with your exhale. Inhale, bring the hands up, exhale, Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And the more full we can get our belly here, the more awake our diaphragm muscles become, our intercostal muscles in between each rib. We'll do one more breath. Right. And breathing is powerful. Make sure that you maintain throughout the entire class your breathing. I'll give you little reminders because I know sometimes myself that I can forget. So just continue to breathe. Make sure you have that breath with you. Next, we will do some neck rolls. So for these, you are bringing your head around, circular rotation, letting the joints in the cervical spine wake up, so in between each vertebrae. We're getting a little bit of movement here. A little bit of cracking is okay. Any pain here, you will absolutely want to limit your circle, make very small motion. If you have anything of individual concern, feel free to let us know too, and maybe that's something that with a little bit of investigation might be a good one-on-one physical therapy topic. All right, switch directions, give yourself those circles, and make sure that they suit your needs. So if you need to make your circles smaller, go ahead. Find the comfort. All right, bring your head back to neutral. And next we'll do shoulder rolls. For our shoulder rolls, we're going to start by bringing the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. All right, forward, up, back, and down. The most important thing with our shoulder roll as we're getting our muscles warmed up in the upper back and in the shoulder joint is to pinch from behind. So the more that we really draw our shoulder blades together in the back, the more isolated we're warming up that muscle. That's where we want the activity to be coming from. All right, we will roll forwards. Okay, so for the forward roll, you're just switching your direction. Starting at the bottom, you're going to draw your shoulders back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. All right, let your shoulders relax. Can even wiggle out a little bit. And next we'll do our arms and hands. Our shoulders will still get a little bit of activity here, so you just want to make sure we're waking everything up. You're going to take your hands, close them into a fist, cross your arms, and your fist should end up down by your hips, okay? Then we're going to do an alternating type motion here. Open your palms, uncross your arms, bring them up, cross them, close your fist, open up at the top, close at the bottom. Close and cross, I should say. And with this action, when you get to the top, make sure to pinch from behind yet again. So really feel that waking up of the shoulder blades in the upper back. Couple more. Okay, drop your arms, and next we'll do a hand warm-up. So your hand warm-up, we're gonna do fingers. You can still be sitting in your seat, you don't have to move, just do this where you are. Fingers are going to touch into your thumb with a little bit of pressure, and you'll go one by one, okay? So starting with your index, your middle, your ring, your pinky. You can go backwards, your pinky, your ring, your middle, your index. All right. And so this is something I was doing, I'm doing a yoga teacher training. I've been doing it for a while now. It's like a 200-hour program. And one of the women that I'm doing the class training with, she said she does this sometimes, and she says to herself as she's doing it, peace, finger number 1, begins with me. I think that's pretty nice. So, you know, if you want to kind of coordinate that with your movements, you can go peace begins with me. Right? All right, keep that up. Jessica, I'm reading your question here. I might get back to you in a moment when we're done with the warm-ups, just so I can make it through them, because I always go off on a tangent, but let me think about this. Sometimes you wake up with a stiff neck on the side. Okay. So next exercise next warm-up exercise that we're going to do, we're going to move on to the lower body, and we'll do picking up of our leg and bringing it out to the side. This is getting our hip ready for some action. So you're really just lifting your foot, bringing it out, tapping it down, back into the middle. It's kind of like you're tapping in the middle, you're tapping out to the side. All right, Jessica, I think that, I think that the neck rolls are something that, depending on your, personal situation, for me, when I wake up in the morning, I know that when I do those, I feel a bit better. They should be waking up the muscles that might have been contracted overnight in a, fixed position. All right, everybody switch sides, do the opposite leg. I think that one of the things that could also be helpful is a neck hold. So rather than just the circles, you can drop your chin in towards your chest, drop your ear kind of down to your shoulder here, and even have a hand tucked in your back pocket, and you can kind of feel this elongating stretch in the side neck. With that being said, there's no one size fits all, so there could be something going on that I'm not as aware of as a therapist might be. Everybody bring your feet back into the middle and do alternating. Okay, so you're gonna do right and left. Okay. I guess one of the best ways to, in paying attention to that stiffness, if we do the neck circles and notice a difference, that might be something that is helpful. But if you are noticing otherwise, it would probably be a good thing to maybe chat about. All right, couple more of these. And bring your legs back into the middle. Next we'll do our seated march. So instead of bringing legs out to the side, we're just going to be tapping them right in front of us, getting our knees up. Okay, getting our feet up as best you can. Just trying to get some lift here. And your arms are moving as well. If it helps you to lift the legs a bit, you can always hook the arms underneath of your chair if that allows, and just kind of work on the legs. That'll help to stabilize you, but arms active if you can is good. That'll just fuel this even more. Keep it going, a little bit more here. All right, good work with that one. And last, we'll do our ankle warm up. And for this one, we're writing with our big toe, right? So we think of our big toe as a pen and as if the floor were a piece of paper. And what should we write today? Oh goodness. What do I have for inspiration? Well, my breakfast was applesauce, so I guess our right leg will write applesauce. Okay. And I'm turning a little bit here so you can see me. Notice that most of my motion is coming from my ankle. And as I'm doing so, I'm giving the best possible warm-up that I can to that joint, which is really what we're looking to do. So less from the knee, less from the hip, more from the ankle. I spelled applesauce 2 full times with my right foot. I just got so carried away. All right, our left foot, if you haven't started writing something already, what should we write? We'll write Casco Bay. That's a good main one to do. Casco Bay. I live in South Portland, so I am often looking out on the Casco Bay. Especially these days, it's just good to get outside and be able to breathe for a couple minutes, right? I hope everyone's getting outside on these nicer days. All right, that's our warm-up. We're warm, ready for some activity here. We're going to go into our balance exercises first. And with the balance exercises, like I said, it's important that you find a safe spot for you to set yourself up in order to do these. A safe spot means that you are nearby to something secure that you can tap onto or reset with if you need to restabilize yourself while we're doing these. And the reason for needing to restabilize ourselves is that the balance exercises get us into positions where we are a little unstable, and that instability fuels modification, so that fuels change in our balance abilities and our balance confidence. So the positions that we use, so a normal stance looks like this, right? My feet are about hip width apart, and I have a spread out center of balance. My wider base allows me that greater support. When we narrow our base into position number 1 with feet together, or knees together if your feet can't quite come together, that's okay. The point is that we're narrowing our base. You're getting your feet as close as they can be. And in doing so, our center of balance is a little bit more limited. So it challenges us to make changes so that we stay upright and that we stay balanced. Our joints and our muscles and everything along the way learn a little bit better how to do this in everyday life. All right, position number 2, we slide one foot forward a bit for a semi-tandem position. Okay, so when we come into a semi-tandem position, the heel of our front foot is tucked into the instep of our back foot. So when I describe the semi-tandem, position number 2, it usually is that the front foot is about halfway up, but really the further you slide this forward, the more challenging this gets. Okay, so you can be your own judge of that in the way that, if a semi-tandem isn't quite challenging enough, but a full tandem, position number 3, is too challenging and you're not feeling that you're getting out of it what you need, you can find that middle ground by having your foot maybe like 3/4 of the way instead of just halfway. So the further you slide that foot forward in position number 2, the more challenging this will get. Then you might come into a full position number 3, full tandem stance, where you're doing kind of the tightrope walk thing but stationary. So your front foot heel is touching your back foot big toe. And then a fourth position, 2, is one-legged. And You can make sense of this in whatever way seems right. Some people like their foot out to the side or tucked behind them. I think the important thing is that these positions work in a progression. So, you know, you may not get through to full tandem in one day. It's the progression over time that gets you there. And when you're working in one position, you want to master it and be able to stand independently for 30 full seconds without resetting before trying out the next position. So keep that in mind. And that's per exercise. We will do lots of variations of each of these, so some are a bit more challenging than others. Use that information to adjust your balance position as needed as we're doing this class. So really set yourself up for success. Find the position that's working for you, work through it. It should be a challenge, but it also should be comfortable enough that you are able to stand independently and really resist that reset button as much as you can, but do use the reset button as you need to. Very important. All right, I will give everyone about a minute in these positions to test them out, see which one's suiting you best today. If it's your first time, starting with feet together or, you know, knees together as you can, I think is most recommended just to get the feel for what these exercises do feel like, okay? So when you are doing this balance activity, you want something in front of you. This is your surface. You're coming into your balance position, right? So the balance position, automatically you'll start to feel that wobbliness, and that's good. That's where your body's learning and making changes. So that little bit of wobbliness is what we're looking for. But if you do get to a point where you need to reset, your chair is here. You can always take a little step outward to widen your base again. Reset yourself. Come back into the middle. Find your position again. And start again. Okay? So I'll give a full minute in the first one. Probably a little bit longer since I've talked a bit. But find yourself in your position and hold it for as long as you can. Use the reset as needed. I think we've got a question there, so keep it up, keep your balancing going. I'm just gonna see what we've got here. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Ed. Hello. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's so good. You've been, I know, Ed, consistent for over a year, really. Over a year, hasn't it been? I think since like last March or so or something. So that's good. We've got Ed here, and he's been right on board for quite a while, even when we were doing in-person classes. So it's good to see you. Nice to hear from you. Hope you're doing all right. All right. Everyone keep it up. Keep up your balance. All right, you can come back to the middle, and depending on which position you're working in, we're going to give it another minute on the other side. So if you're in semi-tandem or full tandem, or the fourth position one-legged, switch sides so that your opposite foot is forward. If you're in position number one, keep feet together, keep riding that one out. It's the building blocks to progressing to the next few, so very important to get that down first. And they're all challenging, so really just keep that in mind, that these balance positions are tough to work through, and for good reason, because they really can help to change your balance and make improvements. So here we are, we're holding our position for as long as we can, working through that wobbliness. Reset button when you need. It's right here in front of you. You can even just hover your hands right over it. Or if you like them to be out to the sides, find your comfort here. right, we're going to add in a variation. So as I was talking about earlier, we vary these balance positions. We make extra challenge of them. So we'll add things on like distractions, we'll add eyes closed, we'll add head turning, body weight shifting, and all of these things work on different balance systems, and they also make the level of challenge higher when we're doing this funky footing position. So make sure that you're changing your position as needed, and noticing how long you're holding for. You know, if you're resetting every 5 seconds or so, that might be a good sign to take a step down and try the position prior, so that you're really getting the most out of this exercise. You will get the most out of this when you're able to hold with a little bit of wobbliness for a longer period of time. That doesn't mean that you should force it if you're uncomfortable. Absolutely, you know, if you need to work yourself to that feeling of security, please do, and it takes a bit of time. So just the more time we spend in these positions, the greater our balance ability will become and will improve, okay? So we're gonna close our eyes. Sometimes I talk for so long and then I'm like, what was I gonna say? We're gonna close our eyes in our balance position. That's the variation that we're doing. It changes a lot the way that you'll feel in your stance, because vision is a big part of balance. So if you need to start in a regular stance with eyes closed just to get a feel for it, I'd recommend just trying that for a few seconds and then moving into your balance position. Okay, so the idea though, overall, you're in your balance position, eyes are closed, standing nearby your surface so that it is available to you as needed. Keep holding. Hold for as long as you can. All right, open your eyes. We will switch sides, so opposite foot comes forward. Keep your feet together if that's what you're working with. Close eyes once again. And get to work. Feel that the work that your lower body's doing to keep you stable. So your ankle's doing a lot of work here, which is why we make sure to warm it up before we start. You can feel that work from the ground up, right? And also, if you can, find that firmness that you did when we were starting the warm-up, that pressure into the earth. So your feet are pressing back down into the earth, getting your muscles awake and active through this. It's a funky feeling, but it gives us a greater base and gets our muscles activated so that our joints are doing less work. All right, open your eyes and shake your legs out a little bit. As we go on, they might start to get tired. And an important thing, you know, if you need to have a seat at any point, please do You can even do these balance exercises from a seated position. When you're doing them in a seated position, the benefit will be for seated balance. So, just when you're there, maintain a tight torso, pay attention to those posture cues that I talked about at the beginning of class, and you can do everything that we're doing standing, seated. So just do keep that in mind if you need a moment to rest at any point. Okay, so next we'll add in some distractions. We'll again do eyes closed. The distraction will be a task that is an alternating pattern. So mentally we'll be going through this pattern in our head. The pattern will be to be spelling balance class, so that'll be the first half of the pattern. The second half will be listing different things you would see at the beach, okay? So we do these alternating between the two tasks, and I always give an example just to make sure everyone's on the same page. We're spelling balance class, we're listing things you'd see at the beach, so it would look like or sound like this. B, sand. A, seagull. L, water, right? Okay, so we can do this. We're going to close our eyes and we're going to focus on that mental task. The more focus that we put on the task, the more work our body subconsciously has to do to keep us balanced. Both our body and our brain, really. So kind of multitasking here. Everybody go ahead, do that at your own pace. If you get to the end of balance class, start over at the beginning. Everybody, we were all at the beach, maybe, right? I think that that means we have to bring balance class to the beach. That's what that means. The way the blending of those two things in my head was like, oh wait, this is a clear sign that we've got to do this at the beach. The sand, though, that's an interesting thing to try to balance on. Sand is a tough one because it's so fluid. It's not like our flat floor that we're working with right now, right? But anywho, we will switch sides and we'll keep this up on the opposite side. We'll do a different distraction, but the idea is the same. You're going to be standing in your balanced position with eyes closed. Our distraction this time will be spelling hummingbird, right? So we're spelling hummingbird, and then we are, since travel is so limited these days, we'll be listing places that you've been to or would like to go to. So those can be names of countries or national parks or states, whatever you want. So it'll look like this. H for hummingbird. Block Island, that's my favorite spot in Rhode Island. U, Italy. M, Alaska. Love to go there someday, I don't know. Probably in the summer months. Right, okay, so that's where we want to be. You are spelling hummingbird and you are listing places you've been or would like to go, and your eyes are closed in your balanced position. Begin. is really good work. So those distractions are tough. Actually, some people find that they're like soothing, and because they forget about their body, they're like, oh, I can balance a little bit better than I was when I was thinking about it. Other people find it to be the opposite. So the idea is really that you're distracting yourself from what you're doing, and in that way, you allow your body and your brain to patch in the work subconsciously. Okay, what's next? What should we do? I think we'll do a bit of head turning and maybe some head turning type patterns. So as we're working on head turning, we're standing in our balance position and we'll be turning our head, just as it sounds, in different directions. We'll do some with eyes closed. We'll do some patterns that, all of which provoke, that was the word I was looking for, I was going to say it differently, provoke the vestibular system, our inner ear. This is a big system related to balance. It helps us judge where our surroundings are. Whenever we're moving or turning our head in relation to our body, this system is active in keeping us balanced, in making us feel the sense of equilibrium. So if people have trouble with their vestibular system, you might have heard of vertigo, or just vertigo-like symptoms that people run into, and that's the feeling of dizziness, room spinning. There's a lot of different ways that vertigo can present too, so it might just be a general unsteadiness type feeling. So that's the system that we're working on as we are doing these head turning activities. And it's important to know that sometimes as we're doing these things, we may feel a little bit dizzy, and to a small degree, that's okay. In fact, that is really letting us know this system is active, it's working, we're provoking it, like I said. So as that little bit of dizziness sinks in, or if it sets in, don't be alarmed, that's okay. If you do feel like you need to take a seat at any point, please do. Or if you've got anything that's like an excess of dizziness, nausea, lightheadedness, I would say maybe hold off on that, check in with us first before continuing. Definitely have a seat. So those are all things to know before we do get started on these exercises. Really though, they are helping this system to improve its sensory capabilities. So there's little hairs in the cells of the system. We're really getting into it now, but little hairs, they sense movement. There's fluid that rushes by them and touches them and lets your brain know my head's turning to the right. Okay. Now I'm going to keep myself stable heading in this direction. Oh, my head's turning to the left. All right. I'm going to keep so this is how, our body can learn to adapt to all of these random movements we make during the day. This system makes sense of it. So the first thing that we're going to do, we will have our balanced position. So come into that, and we'll start by turning the head left and right. If you need a moment, always actually really, during any of our activities, you can hold on to your surface for a moment while you're getting settled, and then slowly release if that works for you. But really the ultimate goal is to have that independent stance. That's where your body is given the opportunity to learn. If we're holding on, we're relying on that extra piece of sensory information, also the physical support. So without that as an opportunity, we let our bodies make these changes on their own. Just found a big piece of string hanging off of my shirt. Okay, so everybody keep this up. Keep going with your head turning left and right. We'll do a couple more before moving on to the other side. Alright, come back to the middle. You can use your hands to stabilize yourself here. Switch your footing if you're in a position that allows. So switch sides. And we'll go on the opposite side here, left and right. Eyes are still open. You're looking to the left, looking to the right. You can pick a focal point on either side of you and search for it as you're turning your head. Also, your head turning, similar to the neck rolls, find a range of motion that works for you. If you need to limit it, you don't have to crank your neck all the way around to really get something out of this exercise. The important thing is that you're getting this horizontal side-to-side movement. Find the scope of motion that works for you. All right, bring your head back to neutral. You can allow your hands to rest on your surface. You can shake your legs out a little bit. We've been hard at work for a while. And next we'll do this on both sides. We'll be looking in the up and down direction instead. So bring your feet to their position and join me by looking up to the ceiling, down to the floor. That vestibular system, our inner ear that I was talking about, that is a big player in helping us to stay balanced, has different pieces of it. There's different canals that control different directions of movement. There's one that works in the left and right, horizontal. There's one that works in the up and down, vertical. And there's one that works diagonally. So that's what we're addressing today. We're head turning left and right to focus on the horizontal canal. We're head turning up and down to focus on the vertical canal. And then we'll do some patterns next to try and wake up the diagonal canal as well. All right, bring your head back to the middle. Switch sides, switch your footing. And continue up and down, head turning to the ceiling, down to the floor. Maintaining your breath too. This is where I'm reminding us we gotta breathe. So really focusing on breathing, making sure that you're doing so, making sure that the joints in your legs are a little bit soft. So the softness, a little bit of a micro bend will help you to keep the muscles active in this standing position. All right, bring your head back to neutral. Again, take a moment here to lean into your surface or just rest your hands on it. Get your feet into a nice normal stance. You can shake out the legs a little bit. Breathe. Okay, bring your legs back to a normal stance. And the next thing we'll do these on either side with eyes closed. Okay, so same idea, head turning, but with eyes closed. We'll start by doing left and right, eyes closed, in your balanced position. Okay. This is one where we're combining different layers of variation. So if you do need to hold on to your surface while you're getting situated, hold on, eyes closed, left and right, head turn. You can slowly release, right? Really find that stability. Use your surface, whatever it may be in front of you, to reset yourself in times of need. Very important to use it skillfully, not rely on it, but really do use it when you need to. Very important. Keep it up, left and right, head turning with eyes closed. right, open your eyes and bring your head back to the middle. We'll switch sides and we will do eyes closed, up and down, all right? So eyes closed, up and down. Change your balance position if you need to with your footing. Really find those roots too. So again, think about the surface of the floor where it meets with the, whether it's the sole of your foot or the sole of your shoe. Just really try to find that grounding pressure in the feet, pushing back into the earth. This is our point of contact, right? So the more we press down, the more information our brain can get from that point of contact. Keep it up a little bit longer. All right, bring your head back to the middle and open your eyes. Let your legs become loose again. Use your surface to lean into it and give yourself a break here. Make sure to breathe and do whatever you need to do. Take a sip of water. We're going to be doing a few patterns. So we'll do an X pattern, and then we'll also do like a ball toss pattern. And then we'll do some strengthening after that. So we have a couple more balance targeted exercises here before going on to our strength portion of class. All right, so for this first one, come into your balanced position. We will be doing our X pattern. So with eyes open, we're going to be looking up and to the left, down and to the left, up and to the right, down and to the right, up and to the left, down and to the left, back up and to the right. Okay, and keep that up at your own pace. The idea is that we're waking up that diagonal canal, and we're following this pattern, which is also a bit of a mental task, right, to maintain. Alright, bring your head back to the middle. We're going to switch sides. And next we'll do that same pattern but with eyes closed, okay? So your head is turning and your eyes are closed. Ready? Again, I will go through the pattern to get everyone started and then you can continue at your own pace. So begin by having your eyes closed, up and to the left, down and to the left, up and to the right, down and to the right, up left, down left, up right, down right. Keep going. You got it. Again, all this head turning too, you know, a lot of action coming from our necks, so just be aware of that and make sure to adjust your range of motion to your needs, to yourself. All right, open your eyes, bring them back to the middle. Well, bring your eyes, your gaze back to the middle here, your focus, your head, everything. Not just your eyes. And next we'll do a ball toss type. So tracing a line with your eyes, you know, you can even get the hands out here and as if you're tossing a ball from one hand into the other, you want to follow that kind of curvy type shape, right? So this is with eyes open too, in your balanced position. Just imagine as if you're tossing a ball from your left hand up and over into your right, up and over into your left. So follow that line with your eyes as if you're watching the ball fly in the air and back down into your hand. Alright, we'll switch sides. And this time we'll do it with eyes closed. So same motion as if you were tracing this line of this ball, but with your eyes closed. So you're thank goodness we don't have to do this with a real ball. I think that every time, because sometimes in the clinic we have, you know, these kinds of different tools and toys, and that's a whole different story than just miming it, right? So, but this is still a good challenge for everyone in this class. Just imagine as if you're throwing this imaginary ball from your right hand into your left. Eyes are closed, and your head is just turning in this invisible arc. Alright, wrap that one up. Come around to your chair, have a rest. So take a seat, find yourself in a comfortable seat, and we're going to get into some strength next. Alright, so pat yourself on the back, job well done. Balance exercises are no easy feat by any means, so they're unusual perhaps compared to exercises that you've done in the past. But it takes a lot of coordination and focus, and you know, like I said, the intertwined network of these balance systems in your body are working really hard together. So really, I'm always very proud of everyone for their efforts in getting balanced. It's a lot of work, and these exercises are really helpful in improving your balance. So keep up the hard work. Taking our rest, so really kind of come back to your breathing here. We're going to do our strength exercises. We've got a few that really highlight the muscle groups that help the most with balance and balance confidence. So we're going to work on lower body with these exercises for the most part. So our quadricep muscles, our hamstring muscles behind the thigh, our calf muscle will get a little bit, front of the shin as well, and then our glutes too, our side glute area, our gluteus medius muscle. So all of these things will get a little bit of attention, and you should feel it there muscularly as you're doing these activities. If you feel any sort of pain or frustration in the joints, anything that you might want to make us aware of, please do, and we can try to get you some answers as needed. All right, so our first exercise is our sit to stand, where we are coming from our sitting position up into standing. So this is one that you'll feel really in these quads, in these hamstrings, a little bit in the glutes as well. You will want to avoid using your hands if you can. If you do need your hands to, if you've got a chair with arms or something to push off of, if you do need to use your hands to come up into standing, please do, but ideally try to do without if you can. We go for 10 in each set altogether, always. I count to 10, but that doesn't mean that you need to make 10. If you're making 8 good sit to stands, you know, and you're having trouble with the last 2 for some reason, that's okay. Start with 8 and perhaps over time you'll work your way towards 10. So do what you can here and try to just do it as comfortably, successfully as possible. All right, here we go. We're gonna go for a set of 10 together. Like I said, split it in half if you need to. You can count every other, but shoot for 10 ideally. As a group, we'll do so. Arms are crossed, however you like them to be, if you're not needing to use them to stand. And you are coming up from sitting into standing. That's number 1. Number 2, point your knees straight out in front of you. Make sure that they're kind of coming over your toes there. 3, and also make sure to, your descent 4 is going to be as controlled as your rise, right? 5, so the way up, we always think, oh yeah, the way up is where everything is coming from. That's where my strengthening is happening. But a lot happens on the way down, so just make sure to control that motion. 6, 7, 8, 9, one more in this set. 10. Good work. All right, so we'll do 2 more sets of those. We'll make them a little bit different by staggering our stance, okay? As we stagger our stance, one foot slides in front of the other. Feet are still hip width apart here, so they're not close together like they were in our balance exercises. We have a wider base of support. We want them to be a little bit further hip width, excuse me. So slide your right foot forward by an inch or 2 or 3, whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be a whole like foot's length or anything like that, but just a little bit of staggering in this stance will get our back leg to do some extra work and isolate that muscle group. So then we'll switch over to the other side and isolate that one as well. Okay, we'll go for 10 in a staggered stance. If for any reason the staggered stance doesn't work for you and you're not feeling quite up to it, you can do another set just as we did the last one with feet across from one another. All right, here we go. Here's 1. The first one in the staggered stance is always kind of funky, so work your way through that. Here's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Find your control. Last one in the set. Here's 10. Good work. All right. Good work. We've done 20 already. Or whatever number you've done, congratulate yourself. You know, we're working hard here. Plus, we already did all that balance work, so our legs are probably feeling a little bit fatigued from that, right? So we'll switch sides and we'll get our last set in. So slide your left foot forward this time, just a little bit in front of the right to give that gap of, you know, little staggering gap, nothing too crazy. And we'll do 10 more together. Here's 1. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. Good work. All right, so that's our sit to stand. Done with those. Good work. Should be feeling it in the legs a bit here, and that's a good thing. As long as it's muscular, you know, you have that little bit of tenderness, maybe even this afternoon or tomorrow, and that's okay to some extent. If you've got anything other than that going on, you can always let us know. We're going to move into our side leg lift next. That's our second exercise for strengthening, which focuses on our gluteus medius muscle, which is in the side glute, and that is a muscle that helps us with one-legged balance. And we're on one leg more than we think, right? Every single step we take is one-legged balance, because in the, you know, the clearing phase, until our heel hits the ground, we're actually on one leg here, right? I don't have a big space to show you, but as we're walking, we're really on one leg every time we take a step. So this is an important muscle to focus on so that one-legged exercises can be done more confidently and more efficiently. All right, we'll start with the left side. Left side here, you're going to be coming up and standing behind your chair, your surface, whatever it is that you're using. We'll use it differently now than we had in the balance exercises. So we'll be holding it firmly, maintaining our core posture with the help of the surface in front of us. So we don't have to do that independent stance. Instead, we can hold on. It'll help us to maintain our form a bit better. If you've been doing these for a while and you feel confident doing them without holding, you feel like you're maintaining your form well, maintaining your shape, you can do that too. And then it will be part balance exercise, part strength, okay? But really, I would mostly recommend that you're holding onto your surface and using it to support your posture. All right, we'll start with the left leg as our working leg. Right leg is our standing leg. So we're going to root down through the right leg. Little bit of bend in it. Tiny bit of bend is going to help to keep the muscles awake rather than relying on the joint and putting a lot of pressure on it. Left leg is going to come out to the side. We'll do this 10 times. So that was 1, 2, keep it nice and slow, 3, 4, keep toes pointed straight out in front of you, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one here on this side, 10. All right, we'll switch sides. So now root down through your left foot. Left foot is your standing leg, right leg will be your working leg. And we'll bring our right leg out to the side for 10. Here's 1, 2, 3. Keep your nice slow speed on the way out and on the way back in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was going to count to 11. I was getting getting distracted. I was like, whoa, wow, wait, we're done. We did 10 already. Good work, everyone. All right. So you've got to feel for those. We're doing them at a nice slow pace. The slower that we do them, the more time our muscle spends under tension, right? So the weight of gravity is pushing against it. Our own body weight is pushing against this action. And so the more time that we allow the muscle to spend in that suspended, tensile state, the more strengthening that can come from that, really. And especially strengthening related to endurance. All right. We'll switch sides and we'll switch it up a little bit. When we get to number 10, we're incorporating some pumps in. So when we do get to number 10, you will hold your foot out to the side and count to 10 with these little pumps that I'm doing right now, and then bring it back into the middle. I will count to 10, so you don't have to worry about doing the counting. But just do the pumps, keep it out to the side, bring it back into the middle after that 10th rep. Okay. Everybody get your posture going. Right foot is rooted down. Left leg is working for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breathe 2, very important to breathe, 7, 8, 9, this is number 10, and this is our hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring your foot back into the middle. Take a little shake with your legs, right? And we will go onto the other side. Okay. This time, left leg is standing leg. Right leg is working leg. So find your roots and get your right leg out to the side for 1, 2, 3, try to maintain your torso too as we do these, as always. 4, so rather than dipping out to the side, you want this action to come from your leg. There's 5 and 6, so you want to isolate the muscle, make sure it's doing the work. 7, 8, 9, last one here, hold for 10 on 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back into the middle, take your little shake. In the interest of time, I think we've ran a little bit over. Yep, so perhaps if you'd like to do another one of those at your own pace, you're welcome to. But I think we'll get a stretch in and we'll sign off for the day, just to make sure that I'm not holding you for too long, because with this virtual class, I tend to go over. I realized last week, I was like, wow, I am like an hour, 15 minutes behind. So it's a little bit different with the in-person class. We always go an hour and it works out pretty well. But here I'm struggling to keep it within the time frame, so I hope I'm not holding anyone up. All right, let's get a stretch in and we'll call it a day. Stretching, really important for flexibility training, and the more we give ourselves time to stretch, we make greater mobility in our joints. We're going to pay attention to stretching our calf muscle now, and it's one of the most important stretches for balance because it allows us better toe clearance as we're walking. So this is really why we're doing this. I think it's always important to know, because especially with stretching, it feels like, okay, I'm holding this, I'm standing here, I can feel the stretch, but what's really happening? So, you know, with time, the more you give flexibility to this muscle through stretching, the better toe clearance you'll have walking, the better mobility in general at the ankle joint. All right, so you'll be behind your chair for this one. Your chair, well, whatever you've got. It might be a kitchen countertop, the back of your couch, whatever you're using. You are putting your weight into it with your hands, you know, so you're finding that stability there. taking a step backwards with one leg, making sure that back heel, you can't really see mine very well, but making sure that it's planted in the ground, right? So everyone's distance will vary here too. You may only have to go back 2 feet, maybe 3 foot length, wherever you end up, just make sure that that back heel is in the ground, back leg is straight, front leg is bent, knee coming over the front toe. And I always lean down into my forearms because that's where I feel the stretch. But you may feel the stretch on your hands up here. The idea is that you're shifting your upper body forward until you feel the pull in your back leg calf. Okay, and we're going to sit in it for a little while here. I think it's always important to go over all the points that get you into the stretch position because it's a lot of different little moving parts and each one matters, so as much as our heel going into the back of the ground, like really planting it down, is a small detail, it matters to get that stretch. And you don't have to feel it intensely. This doesn't have to be a long held intense stretch. What we're looking to do is hold the stretch for a longer period of time at a moderate pull. Okay, so you want your body to feel comfortable and supported, but also the action of this flexibility training happening in the back. Keep it up just a little bit longer. We'll hold on to it. Feel that stretch. Keep your breath going. All right, and then we'll push up and we'll send the other foot back. So in this lunge type position, back heel is planted into the ground, front knee bends forward with tracking over your toes, so you want them to both be pointing the same direction as best you can. And leaning forward to feel that stretch in the back leg calf. Keep it up, a little bit longer. Hold, hold, hold. All right, and come back to the middle. Shake the thing, shake everything out, and that's our send-off, right? That's all we're up to today. We did a lot. We did a lot of the targeted balance. We worked hard on that vestibular system. Proud of everyone for going along with that. Lots of the head turning type activities and whatnot. We did a lot of that today. And so I think that we will see you again next week, as usual, at our 9:30 time, Monday. Thanks for being here. I hope that you're learning a bit and also that your balance is feeling better as we go along. So enjoy your week here. Everyone stay balanced and stay well. Get outdoors as best you can. Get in touch with family and friends and all those things. It is a difficult time and we're getting through it together, and I think we'll be out of it, sooner rather than later, I hope, but just priority is to keep everyone safe. So everybody stay well and be well and all those things, and I will see you next time. Signing off, Kathleen from the Main Strong Balance Center. That's me, and that's us, and we do physical therapy. We work on balance, and you know that because you're here and you're working on yours. All right, take care, everyone. We will see you next time. Be well.